Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Tracy Ann, it's good to see you. Hi, Penny. Bria and Alexandra. Valerie Hineni with you. Hi, Tara. Hope that you are all safe and well. Sari, welcome, my friend. I don't know if I've seen you here before. Susie, so good to see you all. Thank you, Penny. It's broadcast 1399. It is day 726 since October 7th. Debbie, it's good to see you too. Haley and Barry, Arlene and Linda, Boker Tov friends. Savta Shush, so good to learn with you earlier before Rosh Hashanah. Hope that you're well. Lydia and Arlene, Amy and Caroline, good morning. Lisa and Sunday, Anya and Stanley, Marilyn, Boker Tov. All right, friends, let's get to it. We have a lot of preparation to do for Yom Kippur, so let's take a breath, sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Here we go. So hi everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Again, it is broadcast 1399. It is day 726 since October 7th. We've been holding our breath and will continue to do so, making sure that at the same time we also remember to breathe, in the hopes that perhaps in days to come, an agreement will be reached that will finally bring our beloved 48 into our arms. Tonight is Yom Kippur. It is unfathomable that we're almost at the 2-year mark since October 7th. Yom Kippur is not about October 7th, but every moment since that breach of our hearts, our souls, our bodies, and our homeland, and all of the aftershocks that have hit our world, including rampant anti-Semitism in the United States and elsewhere, including Europe. It's hard to have one of these ritual moments without recognizing the world that we inhabit and how that even animates the traditions themselves, how somehow the holidays themselves have become different. And perhaps that's because we have. So part of what the work I think we need to focus on this year is yes, we know how we've become different, but how have we remained the same? And I mean this in both the beautiful ways and in the self-awareness that we are called to build on Yom Kippur. We are still the people that say Gmar Chatima Tova, as so many of us have said. May you be written and sealed for life this year. We still say easy fast. We still say meaningful fast. We say and we pray and we walk and we love. We do our work in the world to protect others. We show up. We are the people that we've always been, that we've always been called to be. But it is also true that when you are who you have always been, perhaps there's some work that we need to do to become even deeper and more reflective and better, kinder. These 2 years have certainly, speaking very personally, shifted the way that I walk through the world. Well, that's probably not going to shift back, not anytime soon. But kindness is good to work on. That's going to be some of the work that I do. I invite you to think about the work that you believe you need to do in the world. What is Yom Kippur? In the Torah, we're told that on the 10th day of the 7th month, because for the Torah, Rosh Hashanah is not the beginning of the year, which is ironic, because we call it Rosh Hashanah. But in the Torah, the year begins in Nisan, the month that includes Pesach, Passover. Because for the Torah, the beginning of time is the beginning of our peoplehood. That's pretty interesting. So for the Torah, Rosh Hashanah is not about the beginning of the year. It's about a different start, okay? What is Yom Kippur? Yom Kippur is called Shabbat Shabbaton, the Shabbat of all Shabbats, the great Shabbat, which is why when Yom Kippur falls on Shabbat, it actually redefines Shabbat itself. It is also a day on which we are commanded, Ve'anitem et nafshotechem. This phrase is important to hear. It's from Leviticus. I'm going to recite it again. Ve'anitem et nafshotechem. It's a concept the rabbis coin as inui nefesh. Inui nefesh means afflicting your soul. It doesn't mean hurting yourself, God forbid. You are not allowed to hurt yourself, God forbid. If fasting would be dangerous to your health, you are not allowed to fast. That's not you breaking the fast. For those who need the encouragement to take care of your bodies, I want you to remember the Jewish law says never hurt yourself. The mitzvot are not there to hurt you. And so I know people whose doctors have said don't fast. And they say, oh no, I'm going to keep Yom Kippur anyway. In fact, if the doctor says don't fast, there's only one way to keep Yom Kippur, which is to eat. It is a mitzvah for some to eat on Yom Kippur. So ve'anitem et nafshotechem doesn't mean hurt yourself. It means be uncomfortable, afflict your soul. And there are simple, they're not always simple to experience, but there's simple ways that we do that. We don't eat, we don't drink, we don't anoint ourselves, we aren't intimate with our partners, and we don't wear leather shoes. That last one makes people laugh sometimes. Why is that the way the rabbis understood afflict your souls, don't wear leather shoes? It's a joke. Souls, shoes, get it? Because in the ancient world, by which I mean 2,000 years ago, leather shoes were luxuries. They were more comfortable than the other kinds of footwear. What's ironic now is that the original mitzvah, the original command, is to afflict your soul. The rabbis understood it as don't wear leather shoes. And now there are incredibly comfortable shoes that have no leather in them that a lot of people wear on Yom Kippur. Why? Because they're not leather and they're comfortable and we stand a lot, especially if you're in shul. So what a thing for us to consider. That the original command is to be uncomfortable, and we'll get to the why behind that in a moment. And then the rabbis explain it as, in your circumstance, don't wear leather shoes. And the exceptions there, by the way, are for nursing mothers and for royalty, because there are different demands on them. And to your question, Donna, you're getting out of the hospital today. What about fasting for you? I'm imagining that you've already gotten advice from your doctors that you need to get strong and recover. That's usually what we need when we get out of a hospital. My advice to you is eat, become strong, because the tradition says better to not have the fullness of one Yom Kippur so that you can have another Yom Kippur. It's very important. As Amy is sharing, right, she has to eat, but you wrote, that's me, I eat food that I don't enjoy instead. I don't know that you need to go that far, but I understand what you're saying, and that is an interesting fulfillment of the original mitzvah. Let me get back to the shoes, because in fact it's a very interesting point for us to consider. If the original rule in the Torah is to be less comfortable, and the rabbis interpret that as don't wear leather shoes, should we find non-leather shoes that are comfortable? Because ultimately, isn't that funny? Isn't it funny that we're listening to the rabbi's interpretation of the verse, but we know that the shoes we're wearing are there to make us more comfortable and not less comfortable? All I'm saying is we're really interesting. We're really interesting. I think we've gone through so much as a people through millennia. And we're still having these conversations. How do I remain true to the spirit of the law? How do I fulfill the law? You know, in Tel Aviv, there's a tradition on Yom Kippur that kids go bicycle riding in the streets because there are fewer cars in the streets. Even many secular Israelis shift their practice on the day that is Yom Kippur, which means that the word secular doesn't quite fit. When Yom Kippur is in the air, I have no idea what secular means. There's a spiritual connectivity. Let me say one more thing about Yom Kippur, and then we'll call it a day, and wish each other Gmar Chatima Tova. I've long felt that these 5 practices, the 5 abstainings of Yom Kippur, don't eat, don't drink, don't anoint, not intimate, and don't wear leather shoes, we're a rehearsal with death, a practice for death, a brush with our mortality too intimately than we could possibly do every day. We should not do that. Because those are life-affirming actions. Comfort, intimacy, anointment, moisturizer, stuff like that, eating and drinking. And the absence of those affirmations are important to let ourselves feel. And by the end of Yom Kippur, at the end of Ne'ilah, the final prayer of Yom Kippur, we say what's called the vidui, the final confessional. We've worked hard to refine our souls, to atone, to apologize to human beings, to say to God, I'm going to try to be right in the world. What a powerful thing it is, friends, for us to consider not the brush with death, but the affirmation of life that must come right after. As soon as Yom Kippur is done, that first drink of cold water, it's like I remember that I have a body, and from the inside of me there's a shiver, and that shiver, because of the cold water, is a return to life. I want to invite you, and if I could be so bold, to invite all of us to return to life. For those who fast, Arlene just wrote it beautifully, for those who fast, wishing you a meaningful and easy fast, and for others a meaningful day. It should be a day where we lean into each other's presence. None of us is perfect. All of us can try harder. None of us should judge the other. We should just show up. And please, God, may this be a year of the affirmation of life for you and for your families, for us, for our people. May it be in the coming days. Let it be today that we hold our beloved 48 and tend to them and care for them right. May we show up in a world that is, in some ways, forgetting that gentleness is divine. And be reminders of that. We have to be fierce. We have to be wise, we have to be strong, but we also have to be kind. May it be a year of kindness, friends, for you, for your family, for our people, for the world. May it be a better year. Sing with me, friends. Send your hearts to the east. Kolon malevav Pnima Nefesh Yehudi Homia Ulefate Mizrach Kadima Ayin Letzion Tzofia On lo avda tikvatenu Hatikva bat Shnot 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. Gmar Chatima Tova, friends. May you be written and sealed for life.